Hello guys! Today we are going to talk about how to level correctly and quickly in Diablo 4 Season 13. There is a lot of new stuff in the game right now and it is not very clear what to do and where to run. There is a separate video without filler or fluff about all the major changes. Let's talk about what I personally plan to do in the new season. New Off greets you and let's get right to it. Builds. A few words about the Season 13 builds. This is as confusing a story as it can possibly be. Do you remember Season 10 or 11? Well, something similar will now be in the game on a permanent basis. How many unique talismans we can use is not clear yet, but if we can slot all 6, then we will get 6 additional aspects in our build. Considering there are many of new unique items, the game right now looks overloaded at first glance. And of course, there are a million places for bugs. Most likely someone will find a bugged combination of items and talismans and everyone will play that build. In any case, endgame builds are still far away. Personally, I will start on a sorcerer with a Hydra build. If you play a classic build, the skill tree changes can be ignored for some time until we see everything Blizzard has prepared for us firsthand. I will leave the link to the sorcerer build itself in the description and update it as soon as the planner itself updates. The core of this build will not change, and this is a starter build, meaning up to level 70 and a bit beyond. What happens later, we will figure out as we go. Why do I recommend the Hydra? Simply because it is the least demanding and most convenient build for starting the leveling process on this class. Now let's talk about leveling. Class choice. Start by creating a new character not based on the meta or whoever will be the strongest in the season according to your feelings, but one that you like. The strongest will be the Warlock. That is obvious. You cannot skip the campaign the first time, but after completing it once on a seasonal character or on a hero in the Eternal Realm, you will be able to skip it with all subsequent characters in all game modes and in all future seasons. Season or Eternal Realm. Where to start, in the Season or the Eternal Realm? There is no difference whatsoever because Season 13 has no seasonal theme. In the Eternal Realm, you can start playing immediately with a leveled character that already has its Paragon points. The expansion campaign in the Eternal Realm is no different from the campaign in the Season. You will simply get new gear much faster and can evaluate the skill tree and Paragon changes immediately. In the Season, you start from scratch either way and level up gradually. But in the Season, you will get cosmetics from the Season journey and a little bit of free platinum. However, if you start the game with a new Warlock character, there is absolutely no difference between starting in the Season or the Eternal Realm. So choose the world you like. But for example, if you like to trade, then you should choose the Season because of the larger number of players there. If you want to compete in the tower, then again, only the Season. And now let's go into leveling and its details. Difficulty, story, mercenaries. Start by setting the very first difficulty, normal. If you have heard somewhere that higher difficulty gives more experience, forget it, that is nonsense. Experience is about the speed of clearing locations and nothing else. There are no options here. Either you set a difficulty higher than normal and watch others level their characters while you level your ego, or you play on normal until about level 40. Although right now the difficulty scale is spread out due to the introduction of the maximum torment 12 difficulty, and moving to the next difficulty will likely make sense earlier. Most likely. If you like the story, play through the story right from the very first level. Just play, everything will work out on its own because the game itself will guide you through the quest chain. If you don't like the story, skip it because the story of the previous expansion can be skipped in the character creation menu. Your first action after loading into the game is to get a pet so someone can collect resources and gold for you. It is in this tab and the simplest pet is available by default to all players. Point 2. Get a mercenary in the den in Nahantu if you have completed that quest. Complete it if you are playing for the first time. The quest will be available at level 15. Yes, just to be clear right away. If you do not have the first expansion, Vessel of Hatred, not the new one coming out on April 27th, but the old one, then you do not have access to mercenaries, runes, or the Nahantu region. In the Den of Mercenaries, take Subo as your main mercenary. He will highlight monsters on your map for you. As your second, take Variana for increased attack speed. Or take Rehair in the additional slot. He will help you deal with control effects. In any case, the recommended mercenaries with their skills are usually indicated in the planner you are using to level up. Solo or party. The main rule, in a group first accept the start of the activity and only then deal with loot or leave the party. This is important. The formal bonus from a party is about 5% experience, but I think they will increase it starting from Season 13. There is no confirmed information yet. Keep in mind, however, that monster health increases by up to plus 100% for each player in the group. This reduces real effectiveness during the leveling phase, where a party makes sense at the start: Infernal Hordes, Nightmare Dungeons, and Kurast Undercity. The reason is simple: consumables. You have one compass plus the others have their compasses equals several runs in a row. The same goes for tributes from Kurast and sigils. They work for the whole group. But keep in mind that when leveling in a party through the war plan, you will only receive the base rewards and experience for killing monsters, and the activity you are doing itself will not level up. This has already caused a lot of complaints, and perhaps they will do something about it. Parties are found through the game interface or through Discord or clans. Advice: do not hoard compasses for the Infernal Hordes or tributes for Kurast, as well as sigils for Nightmare Dungeons. At Torment 1 and above, there will be an abundance of them. Leveling options. Now let me tell you about 2 options, actually about 3. First, the specifics of each option, then the details common to all methods. First, you have all expansions purchased. In this case, we go to complete the expansion campaign. During this time, we get acquainted with the new location, Nahantu, receive rewards for completing the campaign, and knowingly or not, complete some season journey tasks. More on the season journey a little later. In this, the first option, our main thing is the war plan. It is available in the main city of the new location. The point of it is that we immediately take a chain of tasks and go complete them. An important detail: keys or sigils are not required in this case. For example, we create a plan: Nightmare Dungeon, the Pit, Helltide, Uber Boss. After completing the first activity, we are automatically moved to the next one, and so on until the end of the chain. We do not need sigils for Nightmare Dungeons or a key for Ubers. This is how we level up through the war plan, immediately after completing the campaign. Or instead of the campaign, if we have already completed it in any game mode. If you don't like leveling through the war plan, general recommendations are below. Second option, you do not have the Lord of Hatred expansion, but you do have the Vessel of Hatred expansion. In this case, the new location and the war plan are not available to you. Here we level the old-fashioned way, and I will describe this leveling process a bit below. Third option, you do not have any expansions, then you do not have access to 2 regions, runes, mercenaries, and a bunch of other things. In your case, the universal leveling guide that follows will also work. General leveling system. About the season journey. Now the main guide is the chapters of the season journey, because the bonuses from the altars of Lilith and the renown system have been moved there. These chapters become a priority alongside the seasonal mechanic, which will not exist in Season 13. But even without it, there is enough content and changes. Among the common and less significant rewards of the season journey, it is important to complete tasks that give additional skill points as early as possible. Altars of Lilith can be ignored. They now only give insignificant rewards that you can do without, even at the start. Priority tasks. Purple tasks are key. You should not skip them. For example, around level 40, a quest for bartering in the Den of Mercenaries opens up, where you can exchange mercenary points for items, materials, or aspects. These rewards quickly lose value as you level up and are almost useless after Torment 1 and above. The same applies to rewards from the seasonal journey. They lose value at the same rate. Next, after a few quests, you reach approximately level 15. At least that was the case before, and the quest for class specialization opens up. It is unique for each class and mandatory if you are playing that class for the first time. Blizzard has mentioned the possibility of canceling these quests, several times in fact, but it is not confirmed. Their statements are often unclear. Sometimes they say something and do not implement it. Sometimes they say nothing and add useful changes. Elixirs, wells, essences. Elixirs and essences have been removed from the game, so there is no experience bonus and no additional bonuses from them. Instead, the overall experience gained from activities and killing enemies has been increased. An additional strong bonus is given by wells in Nightmare Dungeons. At least until Season 13, these sigils existed. Whether they are in the new expansion is not known to me personally, just keeping you informed just in case. To guarantee finding a well, the sigil must have the affix Forgotten Wisdoms. It can also appear in any other Nightmare Dungeon randomly, but rarely. The bonus lasts for 1 hour and noticeably speeds up leveling. About leveling locations. If you want fast progress, Helltide is the main option up to level 70. Alternatives are Kurast Undercity and the starting compasses in the Horde for 4 waves. Do not focus on only one activity. In Helltide, the main goal is to collect cinders and open chests. What to do in general. Aspects for the build from dungeons. Those are usually in the leveling build guide or planner. legions, world bosses, Tree of Whispers bounties in Helltide, Kurast and Horde. At around level 50 plus or minus, clear all strongholds after assembling the base build. All of this gets you to level 70 in a few hours. If not everything is clear right now, that is fine. The structure will become clearer further on. After watching the guide for the starter build, it will be even easier. It will be released next. Usually the Infernal Hordes can be the most efficient for leveling, but you should not get stuck in one activity. Otherwise you will miss out on the rest of the content. Reminder, start normal. Increase to hard not earlier than level 40. The criterion is simple. You should kill monsters without slowing down, so that they barely affect your movement speed. Fast movement and monster killing are what fast leveling is. Gear. Ignore white and blue items at the initial levels. They become obsolete every 5 minutes. From level 15, yellow items start dropping. The only difference is one additional stat and a slightly longer lifespan of 10 minutes. Do not spend resources on rolling or tempering at the blacksmith or occultist. For blues and yellows, there is no point. Blue and yellow items in the new reality may have value even in the later stages of the game thanks to crafting recipes. But you must understand that here we are talking about items that drop at later stages of the game and with ideal stats for us. We will find these items through a loot filter configured for your class and build. I will, of course, talk about that later, so do not forget to subscribe. Your subscription and like are inspiring. Thank you. Here I am talking about items with low item power. Valuable drops will start much later. Those are items with 900 item power. Yes, the maximum item power now is 900. From about level 30, legendary items appear, but they are also quickly replaced. The final legendaries are ancestral items with 900 item power with stars. A star is a greater affix. A greater affix increases the maximum value of the stat by 50%, practically useful at the early stage, starting from about 500 item power. I recommend keeping movement speed bonus on boots and amulet. This is rolled at the occultist and is almost free. But the most important thing for the entire leveling process is not to lose movement speed and key legendary aspects when changing gear frequently. Remember this and keep an eye on it. Activities. Do not focus on one place. Even if something gives maximum experience, staying there is a mistake. The game will quickly become boring and you will not get all the resources. Fact, you need to farm efficiently everywhere. Each activity provides its own type of resources. Where to go? World bosses appear every 2 to 3 hours. Do not skip them. If they overlap with a legion, go to the boss. The loot is decent and the bosses are easy. Mythics now drop not only from Ubers. In recent seasons, there have been too many of them. The value has decreased. How it will be this season is unknown. Legion, important at the start. Up to 15% experience from the bonfire if the bonfire hasn't been removed. There are many players, fast kills, decent loot for the start of the game. Paragon, strictly according to the build when it becomes available. Increasing the glyph radius at level 16 and 46. That was the case. Now glyphs go up to level 150 maximum, and the radius increase points may be changed or even removed. Dungeons, initially only 4 aspects. Through the codex, find the aspect you need and go for it. Later, nightmare dungeons become a full-fledged activity. After Torment 1, uniques drop everywhere. Uber bosses, the best target farm. Kurast Undercity opens at level 15. Tributes start dropping around level 20. Do not hoard them. Used for runes and keys on Ubers. World difficulty after level 70 is chosen through the pit. Your level is the one you can clear solo in 2 minutes. If it takes 4+ minutes, it is too early to increase. The main rule, monsters need to be killed quickly, not fought. Tree of Whispers. Do it in parallel. Just consider the bounties in the current zone. The chests give relevant loot, even at the start. Do not hoard Uber keys. Use them immediately. Uniques are the main source of power. Waiting for a better difficulty only slows down progress. Infernal Hordes, after Torment 1, one of the best sources of experience. In a group, if you die, do not revive yourself. The death counter is shared. The pit for leveling glyphs. It has been reworked, so we will see what's what on site. Strongholds. Complete Strongholds after a bit of leveling, but before level 70. Yes, the level cap has now been raised to 70, but according to the developers themselves, leveling to 70 will take not much more time than it did before 60. So complete Strongholds before level 70. After that, the experience from them becomes minimal. The reason is that the experience reward is fixed for all difficulty levels. At level 50, it's noticeable, but for a more leveled character, it is almost irrelevant. Since the experience does not depend on difficulty, complete them on normal. You should open many strongholds. Legions appear on their territories. Some dungeons with aspects are located there, and world boss spawn points. Sometimes strongholds bug out or the order of actions there is not obvious. There is a separate guide for them in the Diablo 4 base playlist. That is all for fast and simple leveling. I hope I didn't miss anything. If I missed something, write in the comments. If not, also write. A like and subscription are very useful. Thanks for watching. Bye.